So it's been pretty hot here today, and like really hot. And my 7410, I'm kind of thinking out loud here because my 7410 has a 740 loader on it, and the tractor's getting to the point now that it's running to the end of its rope. I know I have valve seals that are needing to be replaced. I don't know if I can replace the guides or not, but I'm going to have to really look into this. But one way or the other, this tractor is going to need to relax a little bit because we're putting it through its paces. But there's one thing that John Deere and probably every other manufacturer out there knows, is that if they make these cabs that you can't open the windows wide enough to get air through them, or you can't easily take the windows out of them, you know, if you need to on a hot day to continue to run, is that they can charge a shit ton of money for the pieces of for the blower motors, fans that run the air conditioner. Now the air conditioner in this particular tractor is under the seat. At least the evaporator is right there, that shiny aluminum thing. And alongside the shiny aluminum thing are two fans, and they run into the ductwork that goes under the cab and out over here. And yeah, I guess they only come out the front here, but they're not functioning. Okay, they're just not functioning. They're being assholes. They have been a problem child for John Deere for many years. They just have been. This is the third set of these things that I put in this tractor since I've owned the tractor. They have both malfunctioned. One malfunctioned about a month ago, and what would happen is it wasn't pulling enough air over top of this evaporator, and it was freezing. And then of course the thermostat, this guy right here, that little wire that's right there at the tip of my finger, that was causing the air compressor to shut off. The air conditioner compressor to shut off because it was frozen and it wasn't doing any good anyway. So I took this one out. This was actually Bosch made in Brazil. This is a Bosch, I think this is a Bosch Germany. It says GBM, I don't know, but this is one of the new ones that I've replaced these, like, this is like the third time. So anyway, I've replaced this, and I've replaced the thermostat that's over, or the fan control, which runs a switch. So you have high, medium, low, medium, high, and what do they call that? Evacuate or purge. Most people run them on the purge mode anyway because they just do. I know I do, and Dad does, so that's what we do. We run it on purge. So anyways, if you don't have the first, second, and third speed, you will only have purge. That means that, which guy is it? Is it this one? Yes, it's this one right here. This guy right here is bad. This is your thermostat. This is the speed control that coincides with your knob. So if you don't have low, medium, high, that thing is bad. You've only got one speed. That's it. Now you can short that out and get all three, but you don't really want to do that. So I replaced that a few years ago, and it's still working so far. It's still working. So I guess I'm gonna just take these out. They're a real bastard. You gotta bend tubing like this. Don't be afraid to bend these. I mean, you can actually pull this one out, so it's easier to get. It's easier to get this one out. No, it's not, because I got that damned piece there. Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass. This whole thing's a pain in the ass. And then your relays for each one of those is 1, 2, 3 right there. Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass. A major pain in the ass. And when it's 100 degrees outside, you really need your air conditioner to work. It is very unpleasant if you don't have a working air conditioner. And I guess I haven't found the mother glass yet, because I'm still picking pieces of this friggin' glass out of here. Swept it out the last time, swept it out again today, and I still got glass. So anyways, I'm gonna have to get the vacuum cleaner and suck it out. But anyway, let me get these fan motors. You can watch me curse and swear at these things as I go. I'm hoping you guys can see what I'm about to do. I've taken the bolt out. I'm gonna go ahead and bend this thing up and out of the way. You don't want to do too much, because that is aluminum, and aluminum does not like to bend too much. So I'm hoping that I can do this without too much damage to the damn evaporator. Pretty simple, right? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and see which one is actually completely fucked. Okay, so this one is actually still working. Ooh, that feels pretty good. This one over here is not. But you hear the other one still running? That means it's working. And this is the other side, so I plugged it into the other side, so that's working. Okay. So I can shut this key off now that it's kind of cooled it off in here a little bit, and I'm going to get my new one. Now, I'm going to show you how difficult it is to get it in here, because as you can see, there's like 3 bolts, right? See those 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3? Well, they all suck. And when I say they all suck, I mean it. They all suck. But the nice thing is that John Deere has made, or the company Spall has made them so that they are they'll slip into place. That bottom nut, the bottom one right there, I'm just going to go right over the top of it, because I know for a fact that it is so deteriorated I cannot get it off. So I'm going to put the other one in first, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to try and stick you guys in here. You're going to get a close-up view of what I'm doing, hopefully. Now, if they were smart, they'd make these fan cages just a little bit smaller than what they were before, because they're next to near impossible to get in here. And of course, they didn't. I think they actually made them bigger. Can you believe that shit? Oh, God. But anyway, here's that. Oh, nice. Okay. There. Well, would you look at that? Just make sure I got it. Oh, I do. I do. Cool. And I'm going to put the screw in here. I'm going to tighten the sucker down. And what I should really honestly do is run a bead of silicone around the top of that thing so that it actually pressurizes correctly. It's pretty warm outside, but I always tell everybody, well, it's warm, but it ain't Philippines warm, and they don't understand, because 99% of people I know have never been to the Philippines, so they wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But Florida's pretty close in the dead of summer, when it's the dead of winter in the Philippines. So Philippines in the wintertime is still blistering hot at 90 or so degrees, and humid as hell. So before I go any further, after I get this thing in there, it actually is working very nicely. It's going to seal up pretty good. There's actually supposed to be a seal you put in there, but the problem with that seal is it does not stay fast to what you're putting it on, and then you end up with a mess, It just doesn't work out too well. So there's that. Good. That's a plus. We take that, and we'll take this. Oh my God, that aluminum scares the shit out of me every time. Okay, so now you can see how hot it is with sweat's running down my face. Okay, so that's working. It's actually blowing air back through this one. And what I'm going to do with this guy here is busted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get some amazing goop, and I'm going to stick these things open so that they're not closed off, and it'll allow some airflow to come through there. So I've got one of them working. I'm going to turn the switch a little bit. So it's working, it's a spinning. I feel air coming, so that's working correctly. And if I really want to put the juice to it, that'll suck it in there. Okay, now for this guy, this one. I got to see what it's going to take to get it out. Alright, so I got a screw down there that's only going to need to be... Oh shit. I think I'm going to have to take this off. Let's see here. I'm going to have to take this circuit breaker bracket off, which is an 8mm, I'm certain of. And I'll move that out of the way, and then I should be able to get to that screw and then this screw over on this side. So let me do that, and then
Okay, so what I have here is just a regular old ratchet. Sometimes you just kind of gotta, it's a pain in the ass sometimes. I mean, things are just really tight in here, that's all. Of course, the damn ratchet don't want to work. Oh, come on. Alright. Yeah, by the time I'm done, these blowers are over 200 bucks a piece, if you didn't know. They're expensive. Everybody knows they're expensive. John Deere just loves the fact that they're really expensive, because John Deere can be just total douchebags, I'm telling you, when it comes to stuff. But I think all the equipment manufacturers are onto the game of gouging. Yes, the game of gouging. I should be able to pull this off of here now. No. Alright, so I'm having a hard time getting this off. Why? I don't know. I don't want to break it, because I know that little fucking thing was like $60 for that thing. And I have to take it off because I got to get that wiring harness out of the way, and this has to come out of the way, and I can just lift this side up, though, to get that out, so we'll be okay. Alright, let me dig on this. It's in a handy spot. So, as you can see, both sides of this one are slotted. And it goes like this, and it goes like this, and this guy goes like this in here. So it has to, because if you see, these are coils, okay? And this is the resistor, low, medium, high, or high, medium, low. What it does is it puts an electrical charge through these things, and I don't know, it's basically a resistor which burns up a bunch of electricity between here and there, slowing down the motor. That's how it works. So as the motor's turning, it's pulling air over top of this piece here, and essentially it's cooling these resistors, keeping them from burning out. So if you see in there, I think that's a diode. That's just a resistor. You got low, medium, high. Now, if this little guy here goes bad, the little doodad in there, that resistor inside there, if that goes bad, you'll only have high. You'll only have high, which I believe is the big coil. This high and medium, well, it doesn't really much matter. I don't know which one is what, but I'm telling you, I know that that's how it works. So, if that resistor or that diode goes, it's a resistor, I'm sure, goes bad, you'll only have low, you'll only have high, purge. So what you need to do, you can actually just jump a wire between here. What I did was just squeeze them together before, and then that just basically does away with that, and you'll burn up your motors much faster. Or you just run purge, and that'll burn up your motors too eventually. But anyways, I replaced this little guy. It's like $60 freaking. I am going to put dielectric grease on this before I put it back together, because it was such a bastard. There's a lot of moisture in there, and you can see it's rusting. So anytime you have rust, you have resistance, and resistance does a this is an Indec, but anytime you have resistance, you create heat. Heat can turn into, creates a failure. We don't want a failure. We want this thing to work for another 10 years, which it's not going to, because I think the tractor's about ready to blow up on me now. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and put this back together. But before I do so, I'm going to get some dielectric grease in there. I'm going to clean it up with a file or a brush or something so that when I put the electric grease on there, it makes a good solid contact and I don't have that. Okay. Well, this should go in pretty easily. Just because it can. It will because it can. Oh, come on, you devil. Alright, there's that. So, yes, before I go any farther with that, I'm going to have to put that, that metal piece on there, because it does have a slip spot on that, so I can put it together later, easier. Okay, against my better judgment, I put the dielectric grease on first, for the simple reason I wanted to get it all over my hands, because that's where it's going to go, I guarantee you. So here's what I can do. I can do this because I'm pretty good at what I do most of the time. All I need to do is put a little hair around it. I'll hit that hole every time. Right? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I got it fixed. It seems to be working okay. Got my AC on. I kind of like to have it that way so that it blows onto the ground. You can check each and every one of them. As hot as it is outside, it's going to take a little bit to cool it down in here. But I think we're pretty good. I can put it to the front there, and it's blowing like a son of a bitch, so when it's really hot, you can blow it directly on you. I generally like to blow it on the floor and then onto the dash, you know, because it does actually cool the whole cab. But when it gets to the heat of the day, you're going to blow it directly onto you, which there's plenty there. The sound seems to be doing pretty good. Yeah. To just go over this whole entire repair, it didn't take too god-awful long. The hardest part about it is actually the seat, which I just need to do one more thing to. And I'm sure I would remember tomorrow morning, or in a couple of days, is to hook up the electric to your seat. Because if you don't, you won't be able to inflate it or deflate it, depending on who's been in the tractor. So, I'm going to call this a job well done. Between the three fans, one was like $148. The others were like $200 and God knows what, closer to $300 a piece. So $750 just for these stupid fans. So if you're a non-farmer,